And we are live, but just on YouTube because for whatever reason, after a catastrophic power outage that took out the first part of our stream and then waiting for Wi-Fi and other things to come back up, multi-streaming isn't working right now. So we're just going to go straight to YouTube, which is where everything gets housed anyways. I may go tweet out in just a second to let people know, or I may not. Who knows? Either way, we're playing the Sun King's Palace Part 3. Because that's how it's going to look on the playlist whenever it comes out. We just walked through a totally normal gold curtain. At least 3 of us did, and we hand things back over to Bats.
Yeah. So curtains. It's a curtain of smothering. It's a trap. You've been trapped. And the last person to walk through, unfortunately, is Marc, and gets wrapped up by this golden curtain. And even like hoisted up off the ground, like it's trying to scoop you up, so you are kind of hanging there in its grasp. As the other curtain on the that would exit out of this room detaches from its place on the wall and sails towards the rest of the group, trying to grab somebody else. Marc, you know for certain that what would be your grandmother's sister, but you could probably think of it more as like possibly the person that got your grandmother trapped here had set this trap in this room specifically to catch people like you, to catch her. Who knows exactly? But unfortunately, it was you who was caught up. So let's get another initiative roll, as these 2 curtains are going to try to bear hug you together.
Are they hugging everybody? Great job.
No, currently one is hugging Marc, the other one is sort of sailing towards the rest of you to try to decide who it is going to grab. And you said you got a 1?
Yeah, we lost.
So, Marc, go ahead and make a defense roll as this one starts to squeeze you tightly up in the air.
No, we don't. It's the same. I got an 8 again.
You take a point of damage as it begins to kind of like wrap tighter around your face, and as you breathe in, you feel it kind of get sucked into your mouth a little bit. And the other one is going to, since you were at the front, Max, and even more so since you're wearing this totally legally acquired necklace that you definitely didn't cause problems to get. It's going to try to wrap around you. So if you could make me, it will be a sneaky saving throw, which I'm pretty sure you're good at. 13 is just enough. As you see it kind of open up in front of you, you notice that you can just kind of like duck down, and it'll fly over you, and it's now sort of in between you and Tony. And it's y'all's turn. Curtains.
So what do I feel? Is it just like fabric that is the color gold, or is it like literal?
It does feel like fabric to you. It feels like it's constantly squishing and wrapping you up, almost like a cocoon of fabric.
Okay.
And you can almost even kind of see through it, but you're not able to breathe through it.
I'll try to do just like a badass, like every single time there is a warrior who is like in the mouth of a dragon, they just slice out of it with their sword.
Hell yeah. Go ahead and roll your attack.
6. Badass.
Yeah.
Hold on real quick. This is another just little fun thing. Nope, people aren't hearing y'all's audio. Hold on. Y'all can hear me normally, chat, though, correct?
Oh no, that means I have to redo. Yeah. Maybe you just win the encounter.
You know what? This room was just filled with treasure after all. We win the Sun King's dungeon.
We see everybody enter the dungeon and just rip the curtains to shreds for no reason whatsoever. The king walks in and says, "Here's my crown. Good luck. I'm out of here."
Hey, you were the heir to the throne anyway. Who knew?
I do need y'all to keep on talking as I rotate through trying to figure out what specific stuff.
Oh,
We just have to all talk over
There
one
we
another.
go.
Yeah, well, there we go. We're just
There
gonna
we
keep.
go.
Blah, 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 blah.
yeah. Okay, cool.
All
Can you hear
right.
me,
That's
chat?
talking to-
Well, it's going to take them a second to confirm, but chat. I mean, I can see y'all's thing bouncing up and down on the.
Well, I don't trust you anymore,
Do you
Tony.
know
I'm
about
gonna
the
be honest.
curtains, chat?
Look, I've never had power failure happen in the middle of a broadcast before. That was insane. Here we go. One more time.
Words. Words. Yep. It's Sun King.
Now we got real
And
quiet.
we're live here again after a catastrophic power failure. For
Part
the first
4.
time since I trimmed the audio off the beginning of this, later on, no one will ever know that this was like the 20th reboot. We're walking into a room for the first time
For the first time.
where we stepped through a gold curtain. Definitely in the order of Borbo with used to be Ezra, but now just a snake. Wrapped around them, me behind them, and then Marc's character. Why can't I remember your name?
Radlum.
Radnum. In the tail end. No. Oh, what happens next, Bats?
Oh, surprise! It's a trap.
None of us saw this coming.
The gold curtain wraps up around Radum, hoisting them into the air, beginning to suffocate them. And I believe I've seen it in my own foresight that the other curtain detaches and misses its initial attack on Max's character. But while missing that attack, the other one that is wrapping up Marc, I believe, successfully begins to suffocate and deals a point of damage.
impressive
And that was
future
my
sight.
turn.
I fling my hammer as hard as I can into this kind of spread out curtain in front of me.
Okay.
I give it a and just like let it go, let the hammer fly straight into it.
I love it. I love the
trying to
image.
push it back across the room. Oh yeah, I guess I should make an attack roll for that.
Are you
huh?
gonna roll?
Yeah, I suppose. Yeah, that might help.
So that's going to be a 15.
Yeah. And it looks. I say it looks cool, but it's probably actually pretty anticlimactic. You throw it, it hits the curtain, and the curtain, kind of poof and like folds around the hammer as the hammer continues its sail. It hits the ground, pinning the curtain down, and you see the curtain kind of flopping around, but it is currently pinned by the hammer.
All right, I got this. Hold tight, brother. And I'm gonna just fire another pain bolt. This time at the curtain around Radnum.
Okay. And it's 4 damage, right?
It's 4 damage.
4 damage. So similar to the bugs, the pill bugs you had fought earlier. Any extra damage over their health will roll over. These ones have 2 hit point or 2 damage points, whatever you would like to call them. So it gets completely eviscerated by the spell in your poof of pain smoke. But Marc, you also take 2 points of damage from the very painful magical trick that was played on you.
What are you at though? Did we just kill?
Two now, probably.
3 because the curtain hit Radnum.
Yeah.
It's all right.
Oh, so
I'm
one
all
one
right,
hit
brother.
point. That's right. Your next character can be a healer. It's fine.
And to add insult to injury, since you were hoisted up in the air, you then drop like a couple feet to the ground as the
and
curtain
take 1 more
gets
damage
destroyed.
dying.
So I'm freed from it though, right?
You are freed. It is completely destroyed. The other one is also, it's not destroyed, but it is currently pinned by the hammer, unable to do much.
I'm gonna be like, you guys seem like you got this, and I'm gonna like make my way to the like center machine thing to be
Okay.
like, yeah, I have just learned wizardry. I can also learn computer wizardry.
I'm
This is-
riding on your shoulders, so I guess I'm coming
Right?
along.
Yeah.
All right, we have
But,
two
like,
potential.
We should be
computer
fighting.
wizards.
We should. Okay, I guess we're going this way.
You Fucking get off my shoulders.
As you get closer, similar to the emotions the necklace had given you before, you kind of feel the necklace. I get essentially translating the room to you, and it tells you that this is it's called the end of the line. Essentially, is what it's called. It is a weapon designed by the giants in their effort to defeat, destroy, maybe even eat the world snakes during their mythic conflict millennia ago. And this is one of the many weapons they designed. And that currently it is what could essentially be considered, it's going through a meltdown. The systems have not been cared for a very long time. And that if the machine is not recharged, it could be dangerous for any, and it makes sure to specify this, any mortals that are within its radius.
Necklace, what is the radius?
Big, it says.
Great. So like not the room, probably the whole whatever. Yeah, I'm just gonna like try and figure out how one would recharge it.
Go ahead and just make a was it the mystic roll?
Sure.
And we'll see if you are able to glean.
So that's a big 9.
Big 9. You do see what looks like is its energy containment system that's kind of near the bottom of it. And it seems like in the most rudimentary sense, it needs some electricity. It needs an influx of electricity to be able to basically restabilize itself.
Yeah, I just read a new ability for Through the Void that would have been incredibly helpful here. We're not playing that game.
Yeah, you could totally do like a sci-fi character in this.
I can't wait to replay this in Through the Void. I got nothing. Guys, I'm gonna let you know right now.
Well, I mean,
you can probably finish off with the curtain.
Yeah, you can kill.
Yeah, no, I understand. Also, I don't know what programming language they use here, but I bet you it's not Python.
You hear Jimmy's character from way back in the other room. Funny.
Yeah, I'll go over to where this curtain is struggling underneath my hammer.
It like reaches for your ankle but can't quite get it.
Yeah, I'm gonna take out the scissors from my sewing kit. I'm just gonna start just like laying into this thing like bit by bit.
You could easily do anything you wanted to it. You could cut it into any shape you'd like. It is helpless at this point.
Yeah, I'm gonna roll to see how good these doilies turn out. I was a 4. Yeah. That's pretty shitty. Like
yeah, it looks like toilet paper. Yeah.
Hey, Bragg, do you think this thing has a heart?
I don't know, but I'm gonna find out as I cut through. I start to pull some of the threads apart, just looking for a heart every once in a while.
Just start eating it.
What if you just cut it into a little heart shape? You could do that, right?
Oh, shit, that's a great idea. Hold on, let me make a roll to see if I can actually manage that. That's a 19.
You cut a convincing heart.
I'd stick that in my pocket.
Get down on all fours and eat some fabric.
I think this one I'd have to probably get against the wall and kind of like.
Oh God!
Hang there a little bit.
What if you pain bolt it? That's electricity, right? This is bolts E.
So I'm gonna ask a question, and I understand I'm gonna have to roll dice for this probably, but do I feel like if I fixed this weird machine, it would, I don't know, hurt the world snake I want to be friends with?
You feel like if you fix this machine, whoever you pointed at would be very injured. Yeah, it's a weapon. It's meant to be. It's very large compared to you, but it's meant to be removed from this place, and then you wouldn't have to use it necessarily against a snake. But
okay, cool.
It seems powerful.
In that case, yeah, can I attempt to make a mystic roll to fix this machine?
Yeah, go for it.
With my tail some. Cool. That is a 20.
Yeah, you are able to see essentially how it functions, kind of like how a magic item might function in any other sort of dungeon crawl. It has charges, and as long as it keeps charged, it can kind of maintain itself, self-perpetuating. But it is long since run out of charges, and it needs. It doesn't necessarily have to be electricity. It needs some sort of magical energy put into it to sort of recharge it. But the limits to that are kind of open to magical interpretation.
Sort of crack my neck, and yeah, I'll go ahead and cast Pain Bolt at it.
Okay. Yeah, definitely. You release your pain bolt, and as soon as you do, you see the smoke and the fluid that's going through the tubes sort of shifts colors to seem more calm. The surging becomes much more calm itself as well, and everything starts to flow more evenly through the machine. And you can see at the base of it, where its sort of power source is, it sparks and is filled with your pain bolt, and that begins to recolor the machine more to that.
A
you can
dove
see-
whoops through one of the tubes.
At the very top of it, you can see concentrated this small little, it almost looks like a sun being slowly created at the front of it. It has been stabilized.
Cool. I have a real big weapon now, guys.
Can we even carry it?
It would probably take two of you to carry it and aim it.
What I just heard is two of us can carry this.
I don't have hands.
I'm very small.
What we do is I pick it up and used to be Ezra wraps around the front of it, so they can fire it whenever, and that's two of us.
Yeah, I'll wrap around the trigger.
Squeeze.
I'm gonna stow my hammer. I would love to try to make a bloodthirsty roll to see if I can manhandle this thing, like as an over the shoulder bazooka type, like even still oversized at that point weapon.
Go for it. Yeah,
and
that
walk
sounds
around
dope.
with it. You just watch me walk up and go.
The vein popping out of your forehead.
Nope. It's not gonna happen. It's a two-person jobber.
Hey, Random, come here.
Yeah, I'll help pick it up.
What if you got on all fours and we put it on your back?
Perfect.
I get on all fours.
Can you change into a giant, strong animal, maybe?
Oh yeah, use your last cookie.
Yeah, nothing could be bad if I eat 3 of them in 24 hours.
Yeah, also if you get bigger than yourself. They said that worked really well.
Yeah, that's great. I'm gonna eat a cookie, and I'm gonna go for the shape of specifically that bard giant we saw previously. Like, I want to be massive.
Make a mystic saving throw.
Yeah, I'm gonna go well. Oh, actually, it went really well. That was a 22.
Beautiful. You don't quite get that large.
Mhm.
And it starts very strange with like just your hand getting big, then your forearm, and it sort of puffs up your
I
body.
grow an arm. Just
Yeah, it busts out of the snake body, and you shift into what is essentially a like 9 feet ripped version of yourself, and the muscles, like you can feel them like beating with your heart. It's like they're like so like torqued right now.
Yeah, I think I got this thing.
And yeah, you're easy like Duke Nukem. You can just grab it and pick it up off the thing and hoist it.
Yeah, I was going for one of those. Glad I was able to boost it by being under it out with all fours. But looks like you got it now that it's up.
And
And no worries, little friend.
It currently has 2 charges that you can use to fire it off.
Great.
I'm gonna tap Thrag's back and be like, you're still the biggest in our hearts. It's still fine. You're good.
Is
I'm
this
now
what,
the
is this
biggest,
what you
most-
feel like all the time?
Every day.
I'm now the biggest wizard in the world.
So this was in 83 or still 82?
82.
Okay.
The curtain to 83 has been yanked off the wall, though, and you can kind of peek into it and see that almost very identical to this chamber, that this was some other sort of experimental artifact creation that they were trying to make. It is not currently melting down or anything. And it seems a lot more arcane in nature than machine, so a lot more stone, a lot more runes, a lot more sort of floating magical glyphs that are kind of tracing their way through the air. And the object of power within this room is an orb. And it's probably about as big as a basketball. It's currently floating inside of this like little anti-gravity ray that is coming down from the ceiling. And different these kind of the runes that are floating around will like float towards the orb and like touch it as if they're communicating, and then float off of it and float towards one of the several different books that are laid around, almost like they're communicating, the books and the orb.
Excellent.
Wait, this is the most wizard shit that could possibly be, and I'm just gonna like run for the orb. My newfound desire to just out wizard the wizard.
Okay.
And if it's like yours, like I just want to go and grab the orb.
When you run up and you grab it, oh, excuse me, you grab it, it feels, even though it's floating, it feels immensely heavy.
God damn it.
But when you touch it, the runes that are floating around all immediately suck in and land on your hands and up your arms on both sides. And that you feel them essentially taking your DNA. And they slowly float off of you, and they float back to one of the books.
And they say,
and
"You
on the book, you
100%."
see them basically recreating your essence into a ritual.
I'm just gonna take that book.
Wait, can you clone me now?
Would you like to try to read it and find out?
If you took the book, you can.
I'll give you the book if you want to try cloning yourself. This feels like your sort of magic.
Yeah, what happens if I read my own essence?
There's a lot of things that you that are written that you maybe have forgotten about from like your childhood and things like that. But it is in the process of encoding all of your memories, along with all the different things that have happened to you to kind of lead you to this point. Very much like a branching path sort of thing. So it's being very specific to recreate you, not a version of you, but you. And you see the reason for that is because this ritual will just be automatically activated if your current form ceases to exist.
Go, I've been backed up. I've been uploaded to the internet. Cloud.
And you can see you're
me.
not the first person that's in this book.
Wait,
too.
wait,
You
wait,
can
wait,
see.
wait. Yeah, I'm gonna look around. Is there a? I'm gonna look for a Zamark in here and see if there's one or not.
make a luck check, a luck test.
It's a 5.
A 5. You're not sure if it's maybe in one of the mini books here, but looking through at least the one that seems to be most recently filled with Max's character, you do not see Zamak. The last one that seems to have been put in is like some elf that seems like it's from
Okay,
like.
so the
decades ago.
doppelgangers are not coming from this room either.
It does not seem that way.
Okay.
No.
You guys, you can touch the orbs, Nothing bad happened.
Yeah, I'm
You
gonna
turned
touch
into
it
a
too.
bunny.
I'll touch an orb.
Okay. Yeah, when you put your hands on the orb, the same thing happens. The runes fly back in, line up your arms, and you feel them taking your DNA and your essence from you. And as they're finishing up encoding Max's character, they flip the page and they begin to encode you as well.
Now we are tied to this place as brothers.
So, Borba, you think this will rebirth you?
Yeah, totally.
I'm gonna fire my gun at Borba.
Just like point blank.
I love that you didn't just use Pain Bolt, which would have killed Borba. That you were
No,
just
no.
like,
I have this fuck off gun. I'm gonna fire.
It's like the first time you pull it out, too. You're like, so this will bring you back, right?
Also, like, I'm gonna be flattered that this is the last thing that happens before I die. Is that like I just feel flattered that you didn't use Pain Bolt. But you're like, yes, I am worthy of this massive. World snake
I
killer.
just want to see how this gun works.
Oh yeah. Okay. So yeah, when you fire the end of the line, as it's called, it shoots out essentially a disintegration ray. And it hits and burns a hole clean through Barba, and then just that hole spreads rather quickly, turning your body, basically everything except the necklace into dust, which the necklace falls into dust. And as that happens, the orb, it kicks in, and it does essentially what it does. It respawns you. The runes kind of stop what they're doing, encoding Marc's character, and fly over and start to almost like shoot little laser beams and 3D print you back into existence, with all of your memories up to the point where you touched the orb. So you don't remember being zapped, but you remember touching the orb, and now you're here. And
So
your
you go
necklace is
over to
laying in a
grab
pile
that
of
book
ash.
again.
Yeah, go see how the book looks.
Book looks great.
Am I still in the book?
Yeah.
Ah.
Oh,
It
great
seems like,
news.
believe it or not, it might
Interesting.
last forever.
Huh.
Kegan shoots the book.
Rude.
Um,
I'm gonna grab the necklace off the ground before any of us forget about it.
I wasn't going to forget about it, but I was waiting to see who grabbed it.
How
I-
did my necklace get on the ground?
I go over and I
Oh,
wait.
you know, I'm just a great magician.
I go over to the podium and I wait for Radnum to be done being encoded.
Okay. Yeah, it takes like another minute, maybe.
Yeah. And then I look at this thing and I just think, what is an orb but a heart? And I try to take a big old bite out of this
the
orb.
So yeah, you put your teeth on it and you hear like a loud clank. And the runes fly and like stick along your cheeks and your forehead,
Shit, that's not what I
and down
wanted.
your neck, and you feel them taking your essence and your DNA.
No, I wanted to take their essence and DNA. I just kind of try to shake them off me.
Grabbing runes out of the sky.
Yeah, you're swatting them, and they just like almost like little fireflies keep flying towards you, as your teeth are like, "Arr."
the jawbreaker.
Yeah,
Um,
like Ed and Eddie style.
I'll have to figure out another way to eat this thing at some point in time. But yeah, no, I disconnect from it, and I'm just trying to fight these things off of me.
Okay, if you would like to stop yourself from being encoded, just make me a mysticism saving throw.
Nope, I get encoded.
Yeah, you're swatting them away, but it's they're
But
very quick.
They're just all
and
over
very
my
harmless.
back. Like they're not even fighting me. They're just like, oh yeah.
And then they start to put you into the book.
Seeing Thrag try this, I am gonna grab Sir Cujo and touch him to the orb, just because I don't trust whatever he's becoming.
Yeah, it does the same thing to Cujo. And when it encodes Cujo, it encodes them as a dog again, not as a rabbit. It encodes their true form.
Interesting.
I'm not touching the orb.
What could go wrong with endlessly respawning without your memories from beyond the orb?
Nothing. Yeah, I think this is great. It's the worst. It's the best fail I've ever had at a thing. Are we in 83 right now?
You are. So there's the exit to your south into 88 and to the east into 84. Each one identical curtains.
Room with the curtains. This room with the orb. Does that bring us to 19 staying and potentially Marc to 20?
Yeah. 19, yeah. Because you did
Does
yeah.
does
So
that
as you're
take-
leaving this room,
does
you
that
will go
take
to
me
19.
to 20 because I fought something.
I added some from the combat, from the
Gotcha.
sleeping and stuff like that brought you guys
Gotcha.
up to 17. But yeah, with the end of the line room and the orb room, that would be 19.
So I'm at 20.
Yeah. Because you were one ahead of us.
So you and it's been a very eventful few hours recently, but you are now noticing wherever your stain is, it has grown a bit more to cover more of your body. And share with the class what you are going to remove, possibly permanently, from your character sheet.
I don't want to lose an item, so I think I'll lose 2 items because that seems lame to lose items.
Well, so when I interpret losing an item is also losing the slot the item is in, because you're not actually just erasing it.
Oh.
Yeah, you erased it from the character sheet. That part.
I've been scratching it out because I thought that's
perfect.
what it was. Yeah, and so, but I've been scratching out the slot it's in. Essentially.
Yeah, that's definitely how. Eventually, the idea is that your character sheet would just be nothing.
Yeah.
And it couldn't hold any information, which means that you've lost.
My
everything.
sword is probably my best item, so I think it's maybe shatters itself or something.
Ooh, yeah. As far as you're concerned, you never had one.
Oh,
It's just you never had the space to carry one in that space before.
brilliant. So when you do attacks, you need to have a weapon, right?
Theoretically, yeah. I mean, you could. there is not currently a bare knuckle fighter.
Theoretically,
though, however, you can bludgeon things with your bare hands if you want to, if that's your character's vibe. We've never.
Max picked up a candlestick or whatever to kill someone.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And so,
But which room would you like to head towards? This is maybe the first time you've had like a multiple choice.
in a minute, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, my brothers, I know exactly where we must go. Here's the thing. This place is extremely dangerous. It is kind of messed up at this point, but I know where my grandmother lives within here. She may be there now, or even worse, my grandmother's sister may be there. My first cousin, twice removed, I believe. Either way, if we go there and we have this giant freaking weapon, we can just tell them to let us out of this place and give us as much treasure as they have.
Oh, I mean, we could just draw a door and leave at any moment.
It's true. But now,
As long as you remember it.
we are all brothers and the heirs of this throne. We can take all the treasure.
We could just take all the treasure first. So is that the left door or the right door?
The left.
Let's do it.
I mean, okay.
Alrighty. So you head left into 84. That's what I'm hearing. Oh, my cat just jumped on my lap.
I guess
Yeah.
they would
Blues.
both go. So it would be to 89. Both of them, either way, goes there. So
Ugh. Get down, sweetie.
I don't actually have the map in front of me, so I'm just saying.
Yeah, both
I'm
of them
just
technically
guessing the
can go to your
directions of the doors.
But yeah, if you want to head into 84, you head into a large a room that looks like it was built for a giant the size of the King's Bard. And in that regard, it seems rather empty. There's like a elaborate red and gold rug stretching across most of the room. There is a small, what would be small for a giant bed to sleep upon, and then there is a giant's writing desk as well. On the desk itself, you can kind of hear what sounds like a burbling stream, but it sounds thicker than water, almost like more like a bubbling.
Burbles are thicker than water, the old saying goes.
Yeah.
all
Cool.
right. It doesn't seem too dangerous. If we just go through that next door, we'll be at our grandmother's house.
To grandmother's house we go.
Nothing
Yeah,
ever went wrong on the way to grandmother's house.
I'll just go first. Let's just keep walking.
Awesome. As you're walking through the giant room, you suddenly feel like there's something in the room watching you. You get that like little prickle on the back of your neck. Would you like to do anything about that?
I'm extremely tempted to spin in a circle and fire the gun behind me.
I don't.
But,
It only has.
but instead, I will spin in a circle and shoot a pain bolt directly behind me. And I don't know what that means for everybody else. But
Are you leading the way?
yeah, I'm going first.
Everybody jumps as the pain bolt soars between everybody. And the room is so large it doesn't even reach the end of it before it finally fizzles out like 150 feet down. But you don't see anybody behind you besides your companions.
Dude, what? Oh. What are you doing?
You didn't feel like someone was right behind you watching you.
I felt like someone was watching me, but not right behind me.
I thought I'd take them
Also,
by surprise.
We're right behind you, watching you.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
like,
but
we
you
are
all are
literally looking at
so
you back.
small. I didn't think it would be a problem.
Wow.
I assumed it would just go, right above your heads.
Well, the best thing to do when you think somebody is watching you, right?
To fire a giant weapon behind you.
No.
Yes.
Hello.
Oh, that makes more sense.
Your voice echoes through the chamber without an answer.
We know you're there.
You as you continue to call out, you hear something stir upon the desk. And rearing its head up kind of over the edge of the desk is a massive peacock that had been resting
cute.
there.
Yeah, that tracks.
Look, it's pretty.
And
Hey,
when it
do you
looks
wanna-
down at you, you see its tail feathers poof up, and you see its glorious, the green and blue and yellows of the eyes kind of circle out and fan out as
It's a
it looks
male
down at you.
peacock.
How tall is the desk?
It's climbable because it's wooden, but it's probably like a good, I don't know, like 35, 40 feet tall.
Just a normal sized desk.
Yeah, I've got one right here. I'm up on a huge stool.
I keep an eye out for the huge stool. I go the peacock.
It seems aroused by that. It kind of jerks its head a little bit, and you see it stand in its glory, and you can see it is rather massive. It is like a peacock that would be for a giant. And you also see its eyes on its feathers are actually blinking.
That's cool.
Should we leave you two for a moment?
Yeah.
Yes.
Greg, do you want to get down on all four?
Eventually. I keep on making trilling noises trying to lure it down off the desk.
Yeah, for sure. If you keep doing that, it will eventually sort of fluff itself and allow and kind of Mary Poppins float down to the ground, and it will slowly walk over towards you until it is kind of towering over the lot of you. And when it's closer, you can see beyond just the eyes blinking, the entire pattern on its feathers is just shifting constantly.
So it's giant. It's giant, like compared to the bar.
Yeah, it's probably like 20 feet tall.
Cool.
It's a big boy.
I would like
Can
to
we
use
ride
my,
it?
I would like to use my tiger pounce, and I would like to mount the giant peacock.
Just make me a luck. Oh, actually, I'm gonna roll a reaction roll just to see how it feels about
How
you.
it feels
Because
about that?
If it's feeling good about you, it'll probably. Just let you do it.
I'm giving it the whole
Yeah.
time.
Let me just roll and see. It is not completely won over by you, but it's not hostile. It seems curious about you. So when you leap, unlike any human has before, and land like on where the neck connects to the body of the creature, it just sort of twists its head to look back at you as the feathers sort of continue to ripple, and you can even hear like it almost sounds like that was what was making the burbling sound, almost like it's like a liquid, these feathers.
Excellent. All right, I'm ready to go.
All right.
It just keeps looking at you like.
Yeah,
I
even
was talking
leans-
to
it
everybody
leans in.
else, not it right now.
Yeah, I'm just gonna keep walking. That's
You're
fine.
ready?
I'm
One
gonna
more time.
I'm gonna take out some leftover salamander steak and just put it on the ground next to it as we walk by. Be like, I don't know what you eat. Here, this is just my tactic. Oh wait, here's a creature. Let's see if we can feed it.
It leans down towards it and gives it a little prod with its beak and kind of pulls away, uninterested.
Probably.
Then
Kegan.
it leans over towards you, Kegan, and it kind of does the same thing, but to the necklace. Like it seems attracted to the necklace.
I'm gonna just pet its head and just keep walking. Maybe it'll just follow. It'll be fine.
And I give it a little not hard, gentle as you would do a mount, a gentle incentive to move forward.
When you do that, it kind of looks back at you like, "Don't boss me around." It's very haughty at that. But then it takes like one step to get in front of you, Kegan, and it kind of crouches down again so that its like body is touching the ground, feathers rippling as it gets closer and kind of pecks the necklace again.
Yes, hello, I've seen you. Just pet it. I'm gonna just keep trying to walk around it.
You get you're a magic user of some kind.
Yeah.
Of the best, possibly.
Possibly.
You undefined. Yeah, we have a challenger in the arena. You understand just by the way that it's acting that this isn't technically an animal. It's actually a familiar.
Now I have a familiar.
And it seems very, like I said, it seems very attracted to this necklace.
It's because it knows I'm a powerful wizard.
Because powerful wizards got that bling.
Yeah. Yeah, it just game recognizes game here is what's happening. Be like, okay, yeah, it's been fun. And then I'm just going to turn invisible. And go around.
When you do that, it becomes invisible as well. And now you're just kind of floating in the air.
I feel about this, other than I clench down a little tighter.
Okay. Yeah, I'm just going to mentally, I guess, command it to follow me. I'm just going to think about it.
If you think about it.
When you start to think about it, you can feel, much like how you can kind of feel the presence of the necklace, you can feel the peacock, you can feel the familiar's presence. And it, much like a magic item, returns to the size of a normal peacock very slowly, not really
While
fast.
invisible.
While invisible. So you just see Tony's character slowly go down till you're standing on your feet again. But it seems like, at least for now, it's in the bargaining stages of being the familiar to a mortal.
Wonderful. I'm gonna go. I'll be visible again. Okay, I'm not sure what's going on here, but I just want to get to the next room.
Okay, I mean, I can solve this problem if you want.
You can't eat this one.
Look, you want me to solve the problem or not?
I don't want you to get a tail full of eyeballs. It's not a thing I'm comfortable with. We're just gonna keep going.
All right, for now. But if it dies of natural causes, I get the heart.
I'll agree to that. That's fine.
I love it.
I just envision you walking over with your hammer and being like, "Natural causes."
That was the plan before he objected.
What
It's
if
gonna be
we-
like gravity.
If we have it touch the orb, you can eat its heart and kill it, and then it will just revive itself. It will just be.
I didn't want you to introduce the fact that he could have infinite hearts to him.
Oh, I'm already aware that I have access to at least infinite dog hearts at this point in time.
Infinite dog hearts. That's the name of the campaign.
It's the follow-up expansion.
Yeah.
We got to get him to his grandma, everyone. Let's just keep going.
You head towards 89, and the beautiful red and gold carpet continues past the curtain and into the room itself, which is a large marble hall. It feels very much like typical cathedral-esque castle kind of structure, with these huge pillars of gold reaching up to hold up the roof of glass, which you can see the abyss through, and you can see kind of looks like you're looking at space. If space was like a physical thing and not just like a empty area. So you can kind of see the dots of light moving, like thick waves of water above you, and every once in a while, like a big black inky shark will like swim over the glass itself. At the far end, where the rug reaches its end, there is a massive portrait that shows a beautiful field of flowers with like a hill and a singular tree standing atop it. And in front of the portrait itself, there are 20 statues, which are kind of standing at attention. They look like knights of the Sun King.
So 2 things. 1, me and Tony now hit 20 stain.
That's true.
I think that
And
means I'm at 10.
yeah,
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, because you got rid of all 9.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, you
But
did.
you moved us up in that process. You have one more room to go.
Okay, all 3 of us.
Yes, like I'm 1 behind you guys, and then
You're 11 behind us, essentially.
Okay,
yes.
that makes sense.
Right.
but 2, I have an ability that that triggers when I pass paintings.
Oh yeah.
It has not come up yet, but I have a shellacking soul. When passing a painting, make a luck roll. On 1, the Sphinx is drawn out. On 2, I'm drawn in. On a 3 to 5, I steal the painting, and on a 6, I steal the painting, and I can use the ability again. And I rolled a 6, so I seal the painting.
Let me.
This was really meant to address mechanically the backtracking reality, Mads.
Yeah.
That's the way I wrote this ability.
Yeah, let me. I'm gonna roll to see if the Sphinx was currently in there or not, because that will have ramifications if so.
Yeah,
Mark my page.
I've been waiting till someone mentioned a painting.
Yeah, there's a few places where there are paintings that are important. Let me see. I need a.
Keegan's been sitting hot on that ability.
I've been staring at it like.
And I'm the kind of player who would be like, are there any paintings in this room? Every single room.
Nope. You just gotta wait. Just gotta wait.
The Sphinx was not in there. Okay.
Okay. Wonderful.
But you do see when your ability sort of activates, the painting, when it is sealed, it just sort of loses its color, much like the stain would do to anything else. And when that happens, the statues animate. You hear the stone as they lower their spears from attention into a pointed attack position.
I'm gonna try running away.
These are very much art appreciators.
There are 2 exits from this room.
This is the room we've been trying to get to the whole time.
Yeah.
I mean, I just want to. Fine, I'll just hide behind you guys.
You're fine.
You're large. I'm
you're
small.
You all are so tiny. I think at 20 stain real fast. I think I've lost the concept of combat. Because there's this whole box explaining how combat works on these character sheets, and I'm erasing it.
I love it. Oh gosh.
Gone.
The statues seem like they are reacting to the painting being disturbed, and they are upset about it.
I'm fine if we want to bolt out of this room, especially with Keegan's character, who has the best weapon of us all, no longer understanding how combat works.
How does your character feel about this, Mark? You found what is essentially your grandmother's home, and it has become basically a sealed door.
So I look around, and as the painting is losing all of its color, I'm just like, yes, this was the place. This was the place that I dreamed of. And as has occurred literally every time I've arrived at a place that I dreamed of, they want to kill me, and it's extremely dangerous. Let's get out of here.
Why would they kill us?
I don't know. They're extremely territorial. Oh, put on the necklace. Perhaps they'll listen to you.
Oh, hey friends. What's up?
They begin their march towards you.
I
with their
don't
spears
think
drawn.
I recognize this as combat anymore, so I'm just gonna stand.
Like I said, there are two different exits from this room, one going into 88 and one going into 90. Unlike the curtain that lets you in, these doors are similar to the one that led you into the throne room. They are this circular gold doors made of like this non-Newtonian gold fluid.
I have literally zero preference, but let's just head to 88 because I don't think that's. I think if we're gonna,
I'm gonna do a big leap and try and grab the necklace
The right call.
as we are on our way. I'm like, this is mine. I don't know how you got it from the floor. I want to get through that door. You seem all of a sudden to not understand what's happening.
Okay, beautiful. Is there any argument about grabbing the necklace?
No, I'm just waiting for my friends to come greet me. My big stone
Yeah.
friends.
come on. Hey, you. Let's go.
Are you talking to me or the statues?
You.
Okay, but like they're coming to say hello.
I think
Sure.
we're coming to say goodbye.
They're coming to attack us, and there is one thing we must do. Now that you have the necklace, tell the bird to attack them.
What? The bird? I tell the bird to protect the dog bunnies.
The bird stands in front of them.
Let's go. Let's go.
At all costs, everybody run, including
All
dog bunnies.
Let's get out of here.
Okay, I'll follow, but I don't understand what you all are so worried about. Is this not the room we wanted to get to?
It was.
There's no mounds and mounds of treasure, as I assume there would be.
Oh, okay, that's a good reason to leave. I'll head out.
Maybe they were inside the painting. Who knows? The world will never know. Yes. So you have sealed the Sphinx's resting place home for possibly ever, and you rush towards the right as these soldiers are kind of marching towards you, and the door parts for you and allows you to pass through into the Atlas. It is similar to the kind of like Wizard's Tower where you found the depressed wizard before, except this one is filled with, instead of bookshelves, hundreds of doors all along the wall, all at different parts, all of them carved differently, shaped differently. And currently working on another door is this 11-foot tall, silver-faced, black-haired elf who is like basically being a carpenter right now and like sanding down part of this door.
That's some good lathe work you did earlier. Like the inlay you got going on that door.
Why are you always so creepy when we enter a room? Why is this your? Why you do this?
Why is that creepy?
You can't just say like hello there.
I can't count. I've said hello more than anybody else in this dungeon.
Is this your work?
He kind of when he turns to look at you, you can see much like Arame's eyes were like hollowed out. His seem hollowed out, but you can see a sliver of the moon, as if his eyes are reflecting the current phase of the moon. And he turns, and there's also, you can see he's obviously very cold. There is like little bits of icicles hanging from his little beard. He's even kind of shivering a little bit, and he looks and he says, yes, this is all of this that you see. It's my work, my doing, my life's work. And then he kind of stares at you for a second, and then he goes back to shh, 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 shh.
Are you okay, what
Are you family?
I do not have a family myself. Why do you ask? You're not friends with Yashka, are you?
No, me
Oh,
never.
perfect.
I
No,
would.
perfect.
No.
I just, it's been a long time since I saw her. I didn't want any surprises. How can I help you? What brings you here to the place?
Unwelcome. We were unwelcome in the last room. It's
Oh,
not.
yes,
We're. I
the
don't even.
prison. You mean?
Is that a prison?
Yeah, yes. I feel like it was yesterday or possibly years ago. It's hard to remember exactly, but the king sealed the Sphinx away for her betrayal. And it was before the coup and everything, and I'm trying to finish this door so that I can get the word out to the people beyond the palace that the coup is happening, and to ask for assistance.
The king.
Oh, you're building a door out of here.
Yes, you see, my whole life's work is traveling to and exploring the different planes, and I have doors going almost everywhere, but I don't know what happened. They don't work anymore. And he goes over and he like quickly opens one, and it's just a wall behind it. He says
Have you
this one used to go to the plane of infinite fire, but now it is empty.
have you considered just like using chalk?
Oh, I am not like the bard. I don't have the chalk that he was able to make, sadly. But
Interesting.
our magics work similarly.
Do you know anything about a big iron bar?
A big, yeah, you the king's weapon. You mean? Yeah, the right.
Yes.
Yeah.
You mean his
Yeah.
spear?
Yes.
Last I heard is it was shattered by his daughter into different pieces. I'm not quite sure where they are. I'm not his assistant. I don't keep track of those things.
So you don't know where he is now.
Oh, the king. I assume he is sat upon his throne where he always is.
And he's the one who trapped the Sphinx.
Yeah, he when his spear was shattered, he got very afraid and began acting how some people feel was rather erratically, and that is why the whole war thing is going on here in the castle. I don't really have opinions about that. I am merely an ambassador.
Okay. Well, is there anything
What?
we can do to help you?
Oh, I don't know. I am just working on the door. Like I said, I just need to get the word out before the palace falls.
Okay.
Where is the throne? Where's the king's? Didn't we already go to a throne room? Have we
Oh,
been to the?
have you already seen the king? Oh, he's a marvelous creature to behold. It's been a while since I've seen him myself, but he hasn't needed me since the door stopped working. I must finish my door.
Do any of the? Does any of the doors here lead out, or only the one we came through?
There is an actual another exit. The same sort of silver, non or silver, gold, circular, non-Newtonian fluid kind of door.
And
Um,
did you just want to get out?
the king told me to reach out to our allies so we could call on help up, but I have, like I said, my doors have stopped working. I don't really know why they stopped working. I need to find a way out. Yes.
I mean, do you know what the door you're supposed to go through looks like?
It will look like this when it's done. I'm almost done. I just need to finish the sanding, and I need to paint it. I need to place it, and I need to get the magic to work again. And it will lead me out, and I can go, and I can get help. I can get friends and allies, and we can stop this nonsense from happening.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, that sounds like I guess you're all set then.
Oh, yeah, I just need to finish the store. Do you have any word from beyond the palace?
Um.
I read a book once.
Are we winning?
Oh, I don't know about that. It had words in it though.
Oh, that's
Who's?
unfortunate.
I like turn around looking at all of y'all and I'm like, who's we? Are we? It's fine. Well, you know what? You seem good. We don't want to intrude on your work.
Yes, yes, of course.
Yes.
If you have seen the king and he has given you a quest, you must fulfill it, just as I
Yeah.
must.
I guess we'll carry on our way. We haven't seen the king, but we have seen the throne room, right? This is me, Max, asking. The throne room was in front of the fighting pit. Yeah, that's right.
There was
No,
a-
that the throne, like this whole golden section of the map is considered the throne room. It is
Okay.
where the royalty is, but the actual throne, like you would have seen the actual throne, and a king would have been sitting upon it. So
Okay.
you haven't seen that yet.
Maybe
But
we
then-
should kill the
Maybe we should
king.
look
I
for
don't
that-
know.
What? We should what the king?
Maybe we should kill the king. I mean, I
Yes.
guess pick a verb. I was thinking.
Kill the king. You can't. What blasphemy are you speaking? Are you have you aligned yourself with Aberdeen? Are you one of her pawns? Have you been sent to sabotage? Are you why my doors aren't working?
What are you
No,
going to
no
do about it?
worries. I'm just
Nope.
gonna like, not us, and just keep like shuffling towards the other door.
You see he grabs his staff from where it is leaning against one of his work tables, and he points it towards you, and he says, if you have come to slay my king, then I must lay my life down to protect him.
That seems like
No.
really dramatic.
Yeah, no, we don't. We've never met the king or Aberdeen. This isn't. I don't know either of those people.
Wouldn't you not be following the orders the king gave you to work on these doors?
You see he's like, his hands like trembling, and he slowly lowers the staff, and he says, yes, I suppose I was commanded to get the word out. And he just kind of lets the staff drop, and he just like almost like mindlessly begins to sand the door again.
So
How
he's like
big is-
picking up. Oh no, sorry, you're good.
How big is the staff?
The staff, it's built for someone that's about 11 feet tall, so it would be big, but like you could pick it up.
I'm good. Yeah, I'll pick that up.
Just two-hand it. It looks like just a tree branch that has been kind of carved down, and on the top of it is just a small glass orb.
You're one of those dogs, one of those small dogs at the park that picks up
With the big
giant
branch.
stick. Love it.
Okay. My inside voice. I still think we should kill the king.
What? No.
Yeah, let us move to the next room and be discreet as we do so.
It's funny. You all were talking about the king, and he picked up a staff like he was about to dance with us.
God
What
damn
if-
it.
We're just
What if we
breaking
just-
bats more and more as we go.
What if we just left him here? Yeah. What's the next room? I should look at a map.
Yeah, as you head up, the door again kind of pulls open to reveal what can only be described as like a hospital waiting room, but decorated like a castle. Lots of chairs kind of all arranged around in almost like a maze-like pattern. Most of them are filled with what looks like other humans. But unlike you, who still retain most of your personality, these ones have been completely desaturated, even to the point now where they are becoming stained with blue, which is kind of like the double zombie. You know, you have the end of the line, and then you have when they become
The end of the line?
completely taken by the abyss. Exactly. And they're all sitting rather patiently, and it seems they're waiting for something. And at the front, near what would be the door leading out of this room into 93, is sort of the desk where like a nurse or somebody would sit, except there is a solar elf sitting there. So this person's roughly 14 feet tall, and instead of their eyes being like a phase of the moon, their eyes kind of reflect their age by looking like a differently aged star. And so these eyes are very tiny, very white, very focused, and just the little white, almost fire kind of hanging in the socket. Beyond that, they are wearing a beautiful golden robe. They seem rather well kept. And they are just kind of sitting there. It looks like scribbling on some paper. There's like a line of these blue stained humans kind of waiting to talk to this person. And the door itself, oddly enough, compared to the rest of the doors in the throne room, just kind of looks like a simple wooden door.
All right. Now that we're out of earshot, I just want to whisper to the group. All right. We couldn't reach my grandmother because she's been trapped away. Clearly, now it makes sense. The necklace was leading us here, and it wants blood. We must kill the king. You're correct.
Yeah, kill the king. Sounds like a fun activity. I always wanted to be a king killer.
You want to be a chinchilla?
Yeah, that sounds great too.
Out of cookies, too bad.
They're so fluffy.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I would have shared a cookie with you.
They're so fluffy and cute.
So are they all? Is this a lot like a long line?
There's like 4 or 5 people in line right now. Everybody else is kind of sitting still.
Okay, yeah, we'll just wait in line.
Yeah, he says next as the one walks away and another walks forward.
No, I step right up in front when he says next.
You can't just jump in line.
Oh, I can. This guy was saving my line, right? My spot, right? And I'm going to use it. I'll look at him intently and use intimidate.
Believe it or not, you don't even need to. When you step in front of the person, they seem almost completely lifeless.
Okay.
They're just kind of standing there, and
Is
when you
this-
look at them, they're just kind of staring.
When
at their
did you
feet.
meet him?
What?
Did you come over here and meet people in this area while we were asleep? How did you get out of the pit? Why did you make me waste a spell?
I don't know what you're talking about. Yes. We are here for our appointment.
Ah, yes. You are
The next in line.
next in line. So that would be in the L's under line, right?
Yes, the next in.
line.
The
Next
N being my
line.
middle initial. The next in
Okay.
line.
Yes. You're here to see the king, I presume. Sadly, the king isn't in his best of health right now. You know, after the coup. But
Yes,
you are
yes.
more than happy to take a seat and wait for.
No,
your
that's
turn.
why we're here, because of the coup.
Oh, because of the coup.
Because of the
Well,
coup, we're here to see the king.
Well, like I said, he's not in the best of health, but you're more than happy to wait. your
Right,
turn
but
to
like,
be
have you?
here.
I don't know if you're familiar with the term counting coup. Like, have you heard this term before? I know you seem to be a little younger.
He says, I am aware of it. Yes.
So 1 coup, 2 coup, 3 coup, we see the king coup.
That's it.
What do you think counting coup was?
I must have been told it was something different. But there, as you can see, the room is his appointments are booked full, and I guess he's not in the best of health. But you look like rather colorful individuals. And what I mean by that is you don't seem to be affected by the stain very much.
Yes, no, clean flipped him over this morning.
That's wonderful. I could use some people like you. You see, a lot of these ragamuffins are just that, completely useless at this time. I myself have been, thankfully, have avoided the stain myself, and it's hard to get things done when these people have been taken by the abyss like this. Do you think you could help me out?
Probably.
Probably. That sounds like a yes to me. Oh, that's wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. And he takes out another sort of like book that he has to kind of flip through, and he says, I'm currently looking for and you might have heard of it yourself since you are so intelligent, a piece of the sun.
A piece of the sun, you say?
Yes, quite the very same.
Yes, I mean, of course, easy to find. What do you
Yes,
need it
of
for?
course. Oh well, I need it, but as you know, when the coup happened, the second sun was shattered, and its
Yes.
pieces are
Again,
scattered
one coup,
throughout the
two
country.
coup.
3 coup,
We see the
we
king.
see the king
King
coup.
coup.
Yes, exactly. I got you. Well, the pieces have been scattered, and I need to bring them back together so that I can get the king back to full health. You see.
Oh, I'll pull out the end of the line. You said, if I remember right, it looks like it has like a small sun in it.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just gonna whip out this massive fucking weapon in front of him. Be like,
Whoa.
this, right? You're looking for this.
I am looking for this and others like it. Yes, and you can see his eyes slightly enlarge, like the little embers enlarge as he kind of stares at it. He says, "Yeah, it and the other pieces, of course. If we bring them together, we can."
So I'll make a trade. I can give you this, and then we can just go through the door.
Oh, you would.
Because we won't
Oh,
need this where we're going.
Oh, that is quite a nice trade for you to make. I think that would be lovely indeed. And then you just want in to see the king.
Yes.
Yeah.
1 coup.
Two
1
coup.
coup, 2 coup.
3 coup.
Quid
Max,
pro
you're
quo
muted,
coup.
and I don't know if
Which
So-
is great because I'm also just trying to tell you that I'm motioning behind this guy to get you to be like, no, we need the gun for the king. It's not the. We need
Oh,
to take it. We need to take it. The king needs to see the sun. It's
I would
been a
I
long.
would happily
Here
make
comes the
this
sun.
trade.
Da 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 da, as they say.
That's a classic around here.
We're not with him. We need to see.
you're
Well,
behind him.
I'm
while I'm doing this?
afraid. I'm afraid now that you've made this offer to me, I couldn't just let you pass through to see the king without getting what I deserve.
I'll tell you what. I think you're right. I think what we really need to do to cement this deal, though, is a drink.
Oh my
That's-
god.
That's how we do it in my country.
You gotta. It's the way. It would be rude. It would be rude otherwise.
I didn't know that you were aware of the culture around here. I would.
Well, of course, I mean, you may have seen this, and I pull out my Sun King branded special whiskey flask.
Oh, you picked that up at the gift shop.
I picked it up at the
see.
gift shop on the way in, but also King's
Oh.
Private Reserve in there, if you know what I mean.
I know what you mean. Of course I do. I am the king's assistant. I know all things like this. A drink sounds wonderful. So we share a drink, we trade, and I allow you to go see the king.
Yes. The receiver drinks first, the giver drinks second, and then we proceed upon our way.
That is interesting, but that sounds agreeable to me. And so I assume what you're doing, but I'd like you to say it out loud.
I hand him the flask full of snake poison to drink out of. Yes.
Okay. Kind of, I wouldn't say ironically, but funny enough, this guy knows quite a lot about poison and alchemy and things like that. So essentially what that means is I get to roll a d6
To see if he notices.
and see if he knows, because you see he takes it and he kind of just like a, and in that moment, the dice is rolling in his brain to see if he knows. He doesn't know. I had to roll a 5 or a 6 for him to not know. And I rolled a 5. He sniffs, and you can see for a second he's thinking, and he might know, and then he says, "Lovely, lovely year this drink is," and
So it's a marvelous vintage.
he takes a sip, and he almost immediately like puts his hand on his throat, and you can see rapidly the suns of his eyes age. And he says, he looks at you and he says, "What was that?" And then almost as quickly as he's able to get those words out, the stars of his eyes collapse, and then he drops dead. Just
Great. So we can go to the next room, I guess.
I almost gave this to the last guy when you said he looked really cold. I'd be like, I've got a warm beverage for you. And I was like, this seems like such a nice dude, just really working hard on doors for no good reason. I'm very glad
I just
didn't.
Just Ezra, just so you know, Ezra, you understand. We're going to see the king, and then you need to show the king the
Sorry,
sun.
Who are you talking to?
This is like before we enter the door. I'm just like, we need to fuck you there, right? But Ezra, fine. You need to show the king the sun. Do you remember how to? Do you remember how to show the? Do you know how the sun thing works? You know how it works, right?
Yeah, you just like pull the trigger and then the sun.
Right, that's how you would. That's how you would show him the sun, which is our goal. You want to show him the sun. So
Okay, cool.
Yeah,
Great.
when we get in there, just so you know what the plan is.
Okay, yeah, I get it. I understand.
Let's go to the king room.
Okay.
I turn around to all the discolored people. I say, you can all go home now.
They all just kind of go, but you open the out of place, human sized, just normal looking wooden door into the into the throne room, which you can see. I mean, if you just imagine the most beautiful throne room you've ever seen, it's kind of like that. If it was really depressing, as if it had once been beautiful and has become depressing. And you see 3 thrones sitting across from you at what would probably be the end of this room, except beyond the thrones, the room extends infinitely into nothing. Upon the throne in the center is the Sun King, this massive, nearly mech-sized being made of biomechanics and blood and even oil and now ink, with his many eyes. His beautiful crown sits upon his head, and he's just kind of slumped there, and it looks like he hasn't moved in millennia, in generations, in who knows how long. He's almost become part of the throne. And much like the coffin you had seen, there are dryads that have grown just from the pure energy of the throne and of the Sun King, that have grown from the throne, that are sort of like kind of taking care of him, but also just sort of there, existing as sort of like this pseudo court of his. The thrones kind of flanking him, you can see on his right is the throne for his son, for the prince. And at its top, you can see where the second son used to be and had shattered. And it seems like that the son you have, the weapon you have powered by one of these pieces, would fit up there. If you had all the other pieces, you combine them and finish it, but you have at least one of the pieces. And the throne to his left is where the queen would sit, and at its top is a moon that seems cracked and weathered away quite a bit. But the king is just, every once in a while, he takes like one shallow breath, like every minute and a half or so, and then for the rest of it, he is just sitting completely motionless.
Okay, so he's solar powered, and if I release the sun at him, he'd probably feel better.
Totally.
Yes.
Great. Yeah, I aim the gun in his direction and fire.
This
is
beam,
just like the machine.
Yeah, this beam is released from the end of the line, and you see it blasts a small hole straight through the chest and through the back of the throne, and it deals disintegration damage to the Sun King. But he's big. He is essentially a god. for lack of a better term.
Are you saying I
Um,
can't disintegrate gods?
Like, how dare you not let us one-shot the god?
And after it hits him, he doesn't even seem to react to it. He just kind of looks at you with like one eye and then another eye and another until all of them are looking at you. And he just says,
Ow.
"You'll need more than that to get rid of me."
Oh, I wasn't. Get rid of you. I was recharging you.
We need to tunnel away to get to his heart.
Oh no.
And then, Thrag, you can take over.
You know, that's a great point. Where did he hit him?
It was in the chest.
Get
Oh my
in there,
God.
little guy.
Thrag's gonna charge the throne. Hammer out.
Ah!
Shield ajar. Leaps for the hole.
Okay. As you're running towards, you gotta run. It's a giant room. You're
Yeah.
running towards him. You see him. He takes a sweet time, but he reaches kind of like next to his throne, behind this throne, and grabs and lifts up his sword that he has fought many battles with. This massive, it's a massive greatsword that he uses almost like a cane. He sticks it into the ground and picks himself up off the throne while you're like running, screaming towards him, and he picks himself up and he says, "I hope you have what it takes to finish me." And he slowly lifts the sword up to engage you in a duel.
This is an Elden Ring boss where you're just gonna stand there, prepare it.
Dodge roll.
And we've been playing for quite a bit. I think if you all agree, that could be a good
That's a
way
great place to
to
fade to black.
finish.
That's great. Yeah.
Leaving it open for possibly more later, or the next people that I run through the dungeon, maybe they find out that you won
Yeah.
and you're sitting upon the throne. You mean it's possible.
Who knows?
I'm still standing in the corner of the room, confused.
I still have 5 pup friends and a peacock, so I'm a winner.
We are gonna do our reaction roll. Reaction roll is a live stream inside of a live stream. It's our chance to sit down with the creator of a game that we just played and talk to them about what it was like to play that game. Today we just finished playing around in the Sun King's Palace with John Battle, aka Bats, most places on the internet, who made the Sun King's Palace. John, why don't you tell people a little bit about who you are, what you do, and tell us a little bit about the Sun King's Palace.
Yeah. Excuse me again. I am John or Bats. I really don't have a preference for my name, much like Kegan's character. It's just a word most of the time. But I am a games writer, designer, creator. And the Sun King's Palace is like the first like mega dungeon that I've properly published and actually put it into 2 words and everything. It didn't just run from my head. And it is very much a lot of what you had been witnessing if you had watched this stream or even the last stream, where it is a bunch of different kind of rooms. Each one sometimes tells its own story. Each one has its own people in it or its own things to interact with. And this part that you had been through is very much like in-game things where the rooms have like the most powerful objects or like the most powerful people. It's a dungeon that is perfect for long form play, especially if you're like a dungeon master who enjoys role playing as different characters. Each of the stat blocks, I don't know if it'll show up on the thing, has like mannerisms so that you can help yourself to role play as them and things like that. It's I would consider it like a fun house dungeon, with possibly a tragic story if you dig deep enough, and don't just feed everybody poison.
Look, I knew how much time we had to get there.
Yeah, it was beautiful. It was a great idea.
I will say we did a whole lot of talking and not attacking for a lot of play. Even sometimes after I attacked people a little bit, I was like, I don't want to kill this thing. Let's learn how to eat hearts. No, I had an absolute blast playing. Let's hear from some of our other players, though. We do just shout out to Jimmy, who we had on yesterday, whose character did make, or a version of your character did make an appearance today after you got slammed into oblivion, or somewhere else in the dungeon. Who knows? Let's hear first from Marc. Marc, why don't you tell people who you are, what you do, and what it was like to play the Sun King's Palace?
Hey, what's up? I write games on itch, and I did a Kickstarter about Gothic RPG called Mark of Dracula. And oh my gosh, this is a multitude of information. I have never played a mega dungeon, but this is like, we literally went through like at most like a tenth of the rooms. I mean, this is incredible. And to think that each of the rooms has, I really do love the system of each of the rooms has, specific stuff, specific lore for them, and then all sorts of, treasure and encounters that you can roll too. So it's like every single time you go, it's going to be a different experience. That's incredible. So
awesome. Any questions you wanted to ask Bats?
I think I guess you already answered my question, really, which was going to be how well this would fit for a sci-fi setting, because there is the kingdoms and the like political intrigue between the people, and then obviously the technology in there. I think would fit really, really well. So
Yeah, I've been curious about running it with like Mothership or something. I think it would kind of fit like a Prometheus style campaign where it's like, oh, we're gonna go to this thing, and because you could easily just replace the Abyss with space, like actual space, and run with it like that. But I think it'd be fun.
Love it. Awesome. Next up, let's hear from our good friend Max. Max, why don't you tell people who you are, what you do, and what it was like to explore the Sun King's Palace?
Yeah, I'm Max. I make games and I run a podcast. This was super fun. I have had a lot of fun on +1 streams, but this one is potentially competing for that top spot so far. It's just like I mean, this is unsurprising to anybody who knows me, but I love chaos and also randomness and also comedy, and I feel like a lot of I like anything that kind of leans into letting you just be a little weird dude. I also really enjoy taking all the like tropes that people say are like bad or outdated or things that like nobody enjoys, right? Like the amount of times I've seen people say like, don't ever run you open in a prison, because I hate that, it's so overdone. And I'm like, I love those moments. I love that we started in prison cells. Just like part of that is just like counter will of people saying it's bad, but also like I really like puzzles and riddles in games, and so it was fun to get to do that right off the bat. So you said this was made in part via a Reddit AMA, yeah?
Yeah.
Where you turned all the questions into rooms?
Yeah, or like the usernames of the people asking them.
Do you have like a of the rooms we interacted with, do you have do you remember any of those prompts?
Gosh, I have a Google. I think I still have my old Google Docs where I started working on it, but it's hard. It's hard to. I don't know. That was like 2018 when I did that.
In the before times, impossible.
Yeah, I have no idea.
Before the fall.
The stain took that information.
Yeah, exactly. But it also has changed quite a bit since then. Because when I first made it, it didn't have a story because it was just random rooms. And then using that to kind of figure out the family and all the depressing things essentially were added after the fact.
I like that we just ignored a bunch of the depressing story and we're like, what if we just
what if we shoot?
What if we just murder this guy?
Trust me, that's the typical, I feel like, for most of the people I run through it.
I'll talk about that when I share my thoughts. Let's hear from Kegan first. Kegan, tell people who you are, what you do, and what it was like to explore the Sun King's Palace.
Yeah, I'm Kegan. I also make games at Kegan Gixley. Yeah, this was fun. It felt like sort of a natural fit for like Down We Go. I think just felt really good in this. which is good. I love Down We Go. This was just a blast. I had a lot of fun.
Any questions you want to ask Bats?
Yeah, any questions? Were there any bits of the dungeon you were hoping to get on stream we didn't get out?
Gosh.
What's the most exciting thing we missed?
Probably I would say, like, I don't know, it would have been cool to actually fight the king. That's cool. But honestly, the painting, it was kind of like that's something I've never actually got to have people go into before.
Mm-hmm.
But there's like a whole thing where I definitely stole from Dark Souls a lot, where it's like there's painted worlds kind of hidden throughout here. But also the chalk. I know it wouldn't have been possible, but like I have like a list of dungeons in the book that you can put in if people just draw a random door and they don't know where it goes. Which definitely, like I said, it wouldn't have been conducive to like a shorter stream, but for like a longer game, it would be really fun to like completely forget what you were doing because you were in another dungeon for a while and then be like, oh, actually we've been in the abyss for like
a very long time
week.
now. Yeah, I was hoping to get that chalk back to the world snake next time.
That would have been fun too. I feel like that would have been like I said, I think that could have been like not a fail state, but like a premature ending where it's like, yeah, you found a way to get the world snake out, and now
no part 2.
this thing
Thanks.
happens.
We'll look at another multiversal reality where you didn't do that tomorrow. New characters,
Yeah.
everybody. No, I had a blast. It was really great. I love the writing style. Like I said, I read the first little bit so I could do the backgrounds, but I'm really looking forward to going back and kind of crunching through some of it just because I wanted to be able to take it in fresh on stream. I love your writing style. I think your games are just as enjoyable to read as they are to play through. And love what you did with also the art and the presentation on some of this when we were talking about it after stream yesterday, like the cover image, all the like refined details in it, how it pops in different ways based on like whether it's on the book or when I look at it digitally, different little pieces will stand out to me every single time. Yeah, just I also will say, and I think I commented on this a few times, but the number of times that whatever you did to respond to how we had resolved a problem felt so ready to go and polished or so considered. Which having watched you run Troika for Craplands, I 100% believe is probably just Bats going like, oh yeah, I just made this shit up because that's a great response, but like here's what's going to happen because of that. And so I think it's always an interesting thing, like Dungeons specifically having the creator on stream. You don't oftentimes get a chance for them to flex that creativity because the type of space you've created in the palace has a lot going on, and a lot of intense reality warping things happening in it that lets you play a lot bigger if you want to, as opposed to your classic dungeon where it's like, oh, they do this thing, the obvious logical response is going to happen to that because of that. That's it, right? But like when that CRT hand ripped back out of the door because we violated the laws of It Follows or whatever. Even eating the hearts in the pit when I decided to stop and just like talk to the guy. There were just a lot of different places where I was like, I wonder if this is written down or not. And that's my question, I think, is how much of that stuff is written down and how much of that stuff is you just running in the setting because you enjoy it.
Well, the monster eater, that's definitely in there. The distortion hand was me riffing. But honestly, the way I wrote this was that after the initial AMA and like the initial kind of like brainstorming, I just ran it as is, while like each room having a sentence, and essentially how the rooms came to be were things like that, where people would do something and either them riffing off it or me riffing off it, I would just add that to the room and flesh it out. Because that to me, that's how I like to play. You know, you give me a one sentence per encounter and I will turn it into something else, and then I can just write that. So yeah, honestly though, most of what you all did was written in there. I think it was really just the distortion hand that wasn't, but it might be now. I might add that to the stat block as like, if you get these things to do XYZ, then use the big hand stat block instead or something.
Yeah, no, it's like I said, it was one of those moments where I was just like, I don't know where it's hitting or not. So I always think it's just fun to ask because I just love seeing that kind of creativity. And I love that if you ever do another print run, if you did like a notebook version, like a bigger, like almost A4 version where it's like, yeah, here's just tons of extra space underneath so that as your players start doing stuff, your version of the Sun King's Palace gets more and more yours as you go.
That'd be genius.
Be a super enjoyable way to do it also and just pick up that technique. But I had an absolute blast playing. I think everybody should go check it out. I rolled on a dice because we switched platforms for part 3. So if you followed us, congratulations. I don't know if on Twitch, though probably not on YouTube, Dr. Two Scoops is still with us, but if so, you did win the free giveaway copy if you reach out to me in the next 24 to 48 hours. If you watch this, or if you're live with us right now, we'll get you set up with that. Otherwise, I've got a backup winner that I've already rolled also too, and we'll move that along to them. But we'll let us know in the chat here if you're still watching, but if not and you're watching this later, feel free to reach out. We are also giving away a free copy of the PDF to anybody who is a viewer with us today or yesterday. I don't know how that's working, John.
Well, I have it on a Google Drive right now.
Cool.
So if people want to just reach out to me, or if there's some place I can post it, like in a Discord or something, that's fine with me.
Discords are weird. Yeah, if you want to put it, we can put it in the +1 Discord. But I think if people are watching and they reach out to John within the next 24 to 48 hours and like I watched it, then you're all set. We'll do it that way. That sounds good. I had again absolute blast playing. We've got a couple of great things coming up, but if people want to find the book, if they want to get their own print copy, what's the best place to pick it up at?
Best place to pick it up is nerves.store. Yeah, that's where I'm selling it for now. And it probably won't change for a while because the copies are going pretty quick. So
there we go.
I don't know. It's going to be something I hopefully will be able to re-up for for the next while.
Awesome. Newt in a human suit says that's you, but I do believe you, Newt, because I was pretty sure based on when we hopped over, that's who it was. Go ahead and shoot me a message. We'll get that conversation going either over on Twitch. Twitter's also fine, or Discord as well. We'll get you all set up with your copy of the book. Congratulations to you. We've got that live stream with Jess on Tuesday. We were playing I've Got the High Ground, a game of romantic sexy duels. And then we have a no streams for the next couple weeks after that because we'll be at Gen Con kind of taking it easy. We do have some really cool stuff coming. We have 6 games releasing on our site over the course of the next couple weeks. Some shirts going up, some patches, some other stuff like that, most of which will be at Gen Con. But if you're there and you want to come say hi, please do. If you're not going because travel freaks you out right now instead of large groups of people, that's totally reasonable and a great healthy concern. Feel free to check out all the stuff over on our website at +1exp.com also too, or check us out at +1exp on any social media platform. We don't have a good way to close out streams at this point. We're never going to come up with one. So we're all just going to wave at the camera until I take us off air. Thanks, everybody.
Hi, everyone.
Kegan, you going to say it?
No, I'm good this time. I'm not going to make it a thing.
I mean, no one can see us, but I'm not turning the audio off until you say it.
Okay, fine.